Alright, what's up everybody out there in YouTube and Facebook land? It's your boy Rome. I got out a little bit earlier, grab a little bit of coffee, and give me a little wind therapy. So I'm about to head back and get some work done for today. I've been watching the news over the last day or so, and it's really sad. It's heartbreaking, what's happened here in Texas. No different than it was heartbreaking when it happened in Vegas or in New York. It's so depressing when you think about how many people are losing their lives for reasons that just literally make no sense. It's not like these people were out doing something that was attracting this type of violence. They were just out living their lives. They were out jogging, running, going to church, going to a concert, and some maniac, decides that their life has no value. And I know that, this is a very, political issue when it comes to gun control and what people should do about it, and, how we should, decide if, certain people are able to obtain guns. Well, I mean, that's been the law for quite some time. If you have a felony or mental illness, you can't own a gun. But yet and still, people are finding loopholes, whether it's the gun shows, whether it's buying it from someone on Craigslist or some sites like that. They're still getting hold of these weapons. Now, honestly, if the laws aren't being enforced, there's no way that this could have been prevented on that level. But this recent shooting, this is an individual who was in the Air Force that got a near dishonorable discharge. He tried to get a concealed weapons permit here in the state of Texas and was turned down because of his criminal history, his violent history. But yet, somehow, and as it comes out, we'll find out that he was able to legally obtain these assault weapons, and he went out and did some evil deeds. I'm just at a loss for words, because I see this and I hear this. I live down here in Texas, and I hear people saying, oh, it's not a gun issue, it's not a gun issue, it's not a gun issue, it's mental illness, it's mental illness. But it's always so ironic to me when it's a person of color, black, Muslim, whatever. Muslim's not a color, but you know what I mean. And instantly, that's a terrorist act. But when it's a homegrown Caucasian white person, it's mental illness. When black people and brown people were going to prison for a joint, a small bit of whatever, their drug of choice was, it was no big deal. They were deviants. They were criminals. They were less than human. That's why they used drugs. But now that more white people are going out and getting prescription drugs, it's become an epidemic. It's a medical condition. Come on now. Regardless of which side, of the fence you guys sit on politically, I will have to assume, and I know that may be my downfall, but I'll have to assume that you have some common sense. This is just not logical. And somehow, we have allowed ourselves to elect politicians that don't really give a rat's ass about what goes on in our lives, what happens to us. These guys have security. They live in gated communities. They'll never, for the most part, up until the recent situation at the ballpark, would have believed their lives could just be as simply in danger as the average citizen, because they felt like they were above all of that. They were protected. Well, that wasn't the case then, and it's not going to be the case going forward. And as sad as this is, and I hate to say this, but I believe this in my heart, with the political climate that we're living in right now, we're going to see stuff like this happening every month. Now, this situation here in Texas, this could have just been a revenge plot. This could have been something, like, they're saying, the guy was, mentally deranged, but yet he was able to get a weapon that's designed for combat. These are not weapons that you take out to go deer hunting or bird hunting, or you're going to go hunt rabbits or whatever it is. And I mean, you got some dumbasses that'll go out with assault rifles and try and shoot rabbits and squirrels and shit like that. But, that shit is ridiculous. And I understand, I believe every legal American citizen with the desire to own a firearm should be able to own one. That's not a problem for me. It's never been a problem for me. What I see as a problem is that we keep somehow sugarcoating the issue. The issue is our laws are not set up the right way to prevent certain people that should not have guns, that somehow feel entitled because of whatever it may be, their ethnicity, their financial status, whatever the case it is. They feel like they're entitled, they deserve to have these weapons. Just like, we have concealed weapons here in Texas. You can get a concealed weapons permit. I guarantee you that law was passed because some wealthy people got in trouble for carrying a gun. Okay, so now I'm about to get run over by an ambulance. Let's try to avoid that. But, you got some wealthy people that probably got caught up in something that's gun related, and they figured, okay, how can we prevent this from happening next time? We will just change the law and make it legal to carry a concealed weapon, and that fixes everything. And then they'll somehow get grandfathered in. Okay, this ambulance is an annoyance, but he's gone now. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like in most situations, when a law that certain individuals have gotten caught up in, and now they need a way out, whether it's taxes, gun control, drugs, it doesn't matter. They'll find a way. They'll change the law. They'll amend the law. But when another party proposes, an action like this, then it's unconstitutional to do it. It's unconstitutional to regulate guns. It's unconstitutional to regulate, drugs or whatever the case it may be. And I mean, you guys know exactly what I'm saying. I know some people will comment, that, oh no, it says this in the Constitution and it says that in the Constitution. The Constitution was written hundreds of years ago. The world has changed by leaps and bounds. Look at how much the world has changed in just 5 years. So that's like saying, I abide by everything that I read in the Bible. If you did, you wouldn't wear mixed clothing, mixed linens. You wouldn't eat seafood. You wouldn't eat pork. So you can't keep using the same excuse to defend the stupid shit that's going on, that it justifies it somehow. But, that's just my opinion. Everyone has their opinions, like, other parts of their body. So, it's all good in the hood. To me, I don't really care who's in the White House, who's in the chamber, the Senate, the House, whatever it is. It's not going to have that much of a direct effect on my life. And most of you, the same. But at some point, we have to accept the fact we are voting these people in, whether you voted for them or you didn't vote at all, or you somehow encouraged the wrong guy to run knowing he could not or she could not win. But, you know, many times, many cases, we'll have someone that runs for office and we go, oh, this guy, this girl, this lady, should I say, they're going to get in office and they're going to change everything and they're going to, you know, make things right. And they get in office, and 10 days later, they are part of the same political nonsense, excuse-driven, you know, crap that you were trying to replace. So I don't know if there really is a solution. You know, I think for the most part, all we can do is live our lives, get out, enjoy what life we have, because just like those people sitting in church yesterday believe they still had their entire lives ahead of them. You know, I'm hearing from the CNN story, you know, there were children killed as young as 5 and elders as old as 70 something. That is horrific. The entire country should be up at arms and demanding that something be done. But not just anything be done, the right thing. And I'm gonna tell you the truth about it. I don't know what the right thing is. I don't know what needs to be done. So I'm not gonna try and give you the impression I have all the answers, because I do not. But anyone listening to me, this video, watching the news, you know, thinking about these things themselves, we know something needs to be done. And it needs to be done soon, because this is just going to escalate. Anyway, guys, you know, I just wanted to give you a, a little insight on what was going on my mind today as I ride around on these streets enjoying this weather. I want you guys to have a blessed and productive day, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace. I'm out.